Well, hey there, y'all. Welcome back. Y'all come in, grab a seat, watch me play with my cars. So, as you can see, I have a few trucks up in here. What started all this is a buddy of mine, and we can blame him for this. We did a little trade, and I ended up getting this two-tone dually in part of the trade. My idea was I wanted to have, since I got twins now, I wanted to have one lifted and one at regular height. Since I cut up so many trucks around here, I don't have an actual lowered base for this truck. So in order to get one, in comes Mr. Pan Am. So I'm going to take that out of there. I'm going to take the chassis off it, and I'm going to put it on this truck. But I screwed up. I don't know if they're close enough for you to even see what I did. This is my new truck that I just got. That sucker's straight as an arrow. I already cut the roll bars out of this truck. I wasn't thinking. I just automatically cut the roll bars out because I already had one. Excuse me. As you can see, this one, she's a little bit crooked and needs to come apart and get fixed. That's the one I should have cut the roll bars out of, since I got to take it apart anyway. But I didn't. So now I wanted something to do with the chassis on this truck, and I wasn't real sure what I wanted to do with it because it is not going on that Pan Am truck. That won't happen. So in comes Mr. Green Bean here. So I thought maybe I would see if I can swap the chassis from this M2 truck to this Greenlight truck and make it work. So probably going to take some modification, but I think I can do it. So stick around a minute. Let me get a couple things apart and situated here, and we'll go from there. Oh yeah, these are some parts here in the front we're going to probably throw at some of these trucks. We'll see what happens. Alrighty, we got them apart now. I decided to go ahead and use the crooked one instead of the straight one because honestly I don't like roll bars anyway. So I'm going to take the roll bars out of this one anyway because it's going to be more like my work truck. And then this one is going to get something, I don't know, it'll probably still get the push bar. My big fat fingers are in the way. I have one of these 802 Customs back window racks, special ones with the deer head on them. It's my last one, so I think I'm going to use it in this truck. I have a different style toolbox this time. This one is die cast that I got from somewhere long time ago. They're a little easier to put in these M2 trucks because they're not as deep as the M2 boxes or the 802 Customs boxes I get. So this one fits in there a little bit better. It's a little high. I need to file the bottom of it down a little bit, but I'm not going to bore you with that on camera because that's going to take a little bit. As you can see, it just has a very little bit. I'm just going to, that second ridge, not the top, but the next ridge down. I just want to file it down to where that's touching the top of the bed, and that'll be good for me. I don't have one 802 Customs out. They said just a little bit taller in there. Even though they would be easier to file down, I just want to use up this old toolbox I got. So let's roll him back out of the way, because those are all easy fixes. This one here, we are going to pop out this roll bar. I'm going to paint the inside of the bed, mostly to cover up, all the spots where I'm going to cut this back rack off, or this roll bar off of. And then I don't know what else we're going to do to this. We'll figure that out as we go. Alright, now for this one, I think this one has the potential of looking good, but it's going to take a lot of work. As you can see, it turns out the chassis is just a little bit short. So we're going to have to do something about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to stretch it. And how are we going to stretch it? In comes this little donator. This was a Coca-Cola truck, and as you can see, the body fell off. So we're going to just use the front of this, and then we'll cut this somewhere. I know you can't see. We're going to use the front of this, and then we'll cut this somewhere up in here somewhere. That's how we'll stretch it that way. It has the same setup underneath as this one does, so none of that will change. The only thing that will change is the length of one or both of the drive shafts, probably the front. So let me get to hacking. Man, I tell you, sometimes I bring a lot of work on myself. Okay, so we're going to make this work after all. I've already got these cut, as you can see. Now it is longer than what it needs to be, which is good, which means we obviously got to cut it again. So what we're doing here, we're going to have to drop this. Let's start with the front. This, I want to cut this to where it fits down inside the truck cab. I don't want it underneath. That doesn't look good. So we want it cut so where it fits inside up under the cab. So I just got to do a little bit of trimming down both sides, and that should drop right in. Then we got to deal with this rivet, where the rivet was up here. Probably going to have to cut that down a little bit. And then, I know it sounds strange, but after we get all that done, we're going to have to shim the crap out of it, because I know you can't see. Under there, after I cut it and it goes in there, there's still going to be some shimming I'm going to have to do to make this nice and level and flat. So that's what we got to hack so far on the front. And then on the back, you can see underneath, when this is down, you can see the base of the truck. That obviously we want that up inside, up under the bumper, so you can't see it. So that means we're going to have to grind down the top of here. As you can see, there's a lot of meat on there we're going to have to cut off. So we're going to cut all that off and do this, that, and the other, and then I'll be back. So maybe a little while. All right, y'all, we're coming along pretty doggone good. The front is coming along great. You can see we already have ourselves a roller. I can't, the bumper's still not glued on. I had to take it off to get this thing apart. For some reason, these trucks seem to come apart easier when you take the front bumper off. So anyway, that's not going to be an issue anymore. You can see how tight the clearance is in these front wheels here. I mean, they just barely clear, so I can't go any higher than that. But I think she's going to look pretty daggone good. What do you guys think? So, got the front just about set. Oh, yeah. Got her all cut. You can see that's a super tight fit in there. Everything's going to look good when this is done. This is almost going to look factory. So, we got the back set. As you can see, the wheels and tires are pushed way too far. But I've got this thing back as far as it'll go. So, obviously, we got to make a cut here. Looks like we got to cut maybe about 1/8 of an inch off, maybe 1/16, maybe a 1/16. That'll almost center it. I don't know. Well, we'll see. So I got to cut that off, and then it's just about time to cut this centerpiece and make this all one truck again. All right. So I got her cut. You can see I cut her just a tiny bit shorter than what I had to. And that was mostly because I did not want to have to cut this thing again. So now I've got a little play in it. I can pull it back and forth to make it fit where I want it to. So that is looking really good. The fitment in the chassis going into the bottom of this truck is fitting very, very well. So I'm very happy with how things are lining up here. So you guys might ask why I don't show my work. And that is mostly because you guys know how small these trucks are. And I don't know if you know this, but I have extra large hands. And when I'm trying to do something and film it, the only thing you see is my big fat fingers and whatever tool I'm using. So it doesn't seem to me to make sense to film something that you're really not even going to see. So that's why I don't film when I'm cutting and hacking and things like that, because you're not going to see anything but my big hands anyway. So anyway, now that that's cleared up, let's get back to finishing this truck, because I'm anxious to see what she's going to look like. Well, what do y'all think of that creation? I think it looks pretty daggone sweet. So we're just about done. I've got everything cut. We're ready to glue it together. We're dry fitting like you always do. You always dry fit. But other than that, I think it's going to look really good on that M2 chassis. So, like I said, everything is cut. We're all ready to go back together. Took a lot of filing, a lot of hacking, but I got her ready to go, and I think it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? So I got to glue this together, and this is probably going to have to sit and dry overnight. So in the next clip you won't know, but it'll be tomorrow. Alright, you guys, I think we're just going to call this a finished product. I like shooting this time of day. The sunlight really helps out. I don't even have to break out the lights. So she's just basically done. She's sitting there, she's drying. What do y'all think? I think she turned out pretty slick. I don't want to move it too much because, like I said, she is still drying. I'm thinking about I'll probably put a diesel exhaust tip on here still. But other than that, she's about done. The only other thing I'm going to do to it, other than the diesel exhaust tip, I'm going to paint the underneath of the truck all one coat of uniform flat black. Say that 10 times fast. So I think she turned out pretty good. What do you guys think? Who wears it the best? Got the same wheels and tires, the same chassis. 73 Chevy or the 2022 GMC. Obviously I'm going to vote for the Chevy, even though, man, I can't believe the GMC sits higher than the Chevy. Imagine that. It's the way sometimes they turn out. But anyway, another thing that I was looking at, and I got an idea, is that is the wheels and tires from the GMC Denali. So I'm wondering, can I make that fit and look good? But let's go a different step. And I used to have a red version of that truck, but now she's my new favorite shade of green. I really like the way that looks on those wheels and tires, so that's going to be an upcoming project. Whether or not I film it will be another story, but I have successfully made a Greenlight GMC Denali 2022 fit on a 1973 Chevy M2 chassis. That's another mouthful. Then we're going to reverse the product. We're going to take a 73 Chevy and put it on a 2022 GMC frame. I think it's 22 or 23. 22 GMC Sierra HD, even though this was the Denali version. Alright, guys and gals, that is my video for today. Hope you really liked this one. If you did, think about liking and subscribing. It's free to you and it does help out my channel. Y'all have a good day. Check me out on Instagram. Check me out on eBay. All that information is in the description below. Y'all have a good day. Don't forget to come back. Bye now.